Urinary system consists of two kidneys, ureters, urinary bladder, and urethra. Anatomy of kidneys. Kidneys, it is the bean-shaped organs, size of tightly clenched fist. Renal capsule, city that surround each kidney. Hilum, where the renal artery and nerve enters. Renal cilium, cavity that consists blood vessels. Cortex, it is the outer. Medulla, it is the inner. Surround the renal sinus. Renal pyramids located between the cortex and medulla. Larynx, funnel-shaped structure that surround the tip of each pyramid. Renal pelvis formed by the calyces in the large funnel. Ureter, exit of the kidney and connects to the urinary bladder. Nephron's functional unit of the kidney. Connecting duct carries the fluid from the cortex through the medulla. Capillary duct empty their contents in the larynx. Due to medullary nephrons, 15% have loops of Henle that extended deep into the medulla. Cortical nephrons, 85%, have the loops of Henle that do not extend deep in the medulla. Bowman's capsule consists the enlarged end of the nephron. Glomerulus, top of the capillaries that resembles a ball of the laryn, lies with the indentation of Bowman's capsule. Podocytes, inner layer of the Bowman's capsule that consists of special cells. Filtration membrane, formed by the glomerular capillaries base membrane and podocytes of BC. Filtrate, the fluid that passes across the filtration membrane. Arteries and veins, renal arteries and veins. There are 5 arteries, which is the first is the renal arteries, branch of the abdominal aorta and enter the kidneys. Interbular arteries pass between the renal pyramids. Articulate arteries arch between the cortex and the medulla. Interbular arteries branch of the articulate arteries and project into the cortex. Afferent arterioles arise from the branches of the interbular arteries and extend the glomerular capillaries. Efferent arterioles extend the glomerular capillaries. Vertebral capillaries surround the proximal convoluted and distal volulated tubules and the loops of Henle. Vasa recta, specialized portion of the tubular capillaries that extend deep into the medulla. Juxtaglomerular apparatus formed where the distal volulated tubule comes in the contact with the afferent arteriole next to BC. Urine formation, filtration, movement of water, ions, and small molecule to the FM into the BC. There are 3 processes of urine formation, whether you call it in the bathroom, restroom. There are 2 things that all people do there. Urine is one of the body's waste products. There are 3 processes of urine formation, whether you call it in the bathroom or restroom. There are 2 things that all people do there. Urine is one of the body's waste products. It is primarily composed of the water and urea. Urea is a special nitrogenous waste compound that the body must routinely remove. Urine formation occurs in the kidney in 3 stages: filtration, absorption, and secretion. Stage 1 is the filtration. The kidney is the body's blood filtering system. Blood vessel visit the kidney and enter the special ball of the capillaries called the glomerulus. The glomerulus is nestled within the region of the kidney called the Bowman's capsule. This is where the filtration occurs as the blood is pushed through the tiny capillaries. The high pressure forces some things to pass through the capillary walls. The walls act in the sieve of or a filter, hence it is called the filtration. Water, sugar, salts, amino acids, nitrogenous waste, and other tiny things enter the kidney as the substance called the filtrate. Second is the tubular absorption. Movement of the substances from the filtrate across the wall of the nephrons back in the blood of the tubular capillaries. Third is the tubular secretion. Active transport of the solute across the nephron walls in the filtrate. Regulation of urine concentration and volume. Hormonal mechanism. Renin, angiotensin, aldosterone, and mechanism. Renin is secreted from the kidney when blood pressure decreases. Renin converts angiotensin to angiotensin number 1, then converted to the angiotensin number 2, which stimulates the aldosterone. Aldosterone increases Na plus and Cl plus, reabsorption from the nephrons. Antidiuretic hormone mechanism secreted from the posterior pituitary when the blood secretion increases and blood pressure decreases. Increase the permeability to water of the distal convoluted tubules and collecting ducts. Increase water reabsorption by the kidney. Arterial natriuretic hormone secreted from the RA in response to increased blood pressure. Acts the kidney to increase Na plus and water loss in the urine. Urine movement. Anatomy and histology of the uterus, urinary bladder, and urethra. Ureter, small tubules that carries urine. Urinary bladder, hollow muscular container that stores urine. Urethra, tubules that carries the urine from the urinary bladder to the outside of the body. Enterurinary sphincters for males, smooth muscle at the junction of the urinary bladder and urethra. External urinary sphincter is for both males and females. Skeletal muscle that surrounds the urethra. Menstruation reflex activated by the stretch of the urinary bladder wall. Body fluid compartments, intercalary fluid compartment. Fluid inside all the cells in the body. Extracellular fluid compartment. There are two body fluid compartments. First is the intercellular fluid compartment. Fluid inside all the cells in the body. Second is the extracellular fluid compartment. Fluid outside all the cells in the body. When it comes to composition of the fluid in the BFC, intracellular fluid contains of the K, Mg, PO4, SO4, and protein. Extracellular fluid contains more Na, Ca, Cl, and HCO3. Exchange between BFC water moves continually between compartments. 1. Respond to the hydrostatic pressure differences and osmotic difference between the compartments. Regulation of the extracellular fluid composition. First is the thirst regulation. Blood concentration increase, thirst center initiate sensation of thirst. When the water is consumed, blood concentration increases. That results to thirst sensation decreases. Blood pressure decreases, thirst sensation is triggered. Composition of water increases blood volume plus allows the blood pressure to increase. Thirst center. Neurons in the hypothalamus that control the water intake, thirst, on the important meaning of regulating CFC and volume concentration. Ion concentration regulation. Sodium ions are dominant extracellular ions. Aldosterone increase Na plus reabsorption from filtrate. ADHA increase water reabsorption from the nephron. ANH increase Na plus loose in urine. Aldosterone increase K plus secretion in urine. Increase blood levels of K potassium. Stimulate. Diba yung K potassium? K plus. Aldosterone increases potassium secretion in urine. Increased blood levels of potassium stimulate. Decreases blood levels of potassium inhibited. PTH increase cellular Ca synthesis. Calcitonin or thyroid gland inhibits bone reabsorption, lower blood Ca2 plus and levels. Phosphate plus sulfate ions, when levels are low in the filtrate, it results to ions are reabsorbed. When the levels are high, excess in the loss in the urine. Regulation of acid-base balance. Buffers resist change in pH, proteins, phosphate buffer system, bicarbonate buffer system. Respiratory system. Increased respiratory rate rises pH, rate of the CO2 elimination is increased. Reduced respiratory rate, reduced pH, CO2 eliminated is reduced. Kidneys secrete H plus in response to decreasing blood pH, reabsorb H plus in response to the increasing blood pH. Acidosis and alkalosis. Alkalosis occurs when the blood pH falls between 7.35. Alkalosis occurs when blood pH increases above 7.45.